This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
They haven't even begun to determine how many people were sick because of that COVID vaccine. They haven't even been able to establish clearly which people died because of it. Again, this weekend, 42-year-old person, famous person, died. Athletes, for the past year, athletes, once a week, some poor person in their 30s died of a heart attack. This was not happening before the COVID vaccine. That vaccine was dangerous. Pharmaceutical employees knew it was dangerous. There have been big shot pharmaceutical people who have quit and said, I have to quit because we knew it was dangerous. We just didn't know how dangerous. And then you have Bill Gates, creepy Bill Gates, who designed the worst software imaginable. But you go through the years, the past 20 years of him on talk shows, and he's always talking about controlling the population, that we can handle 20 billion people on Earth, but we can't handle 25 billion. We have to manage that. He had campaigned and talked about this for a long time. And then we see him with Jeffrey Epstein talking about controlling the population. And then we see him on interview shows, mainstream interview shows, saying the population can't get bigger. We have to figure out, well, what we didn't expect was that Mr. Gates and his buddies were planning to murder people. We're planning to cut down the population by vaccines. We weren't expecting that. We thought maybe he was talking about rigorous birth controls. But that wasn't it. We, as a population, you and I, we ignored every red flag there was. Out of nowhere, our government told us to shut the business, shut the schools, stay home. What? The National Guard was sent through many parts of Minneapolis, Minnesota, because of Governor Walz walking the streets telling people to go back into their homes as though we were at war, run by a dictatorship. People were told that if you don't get this vaccine, you're going to lose your job. If you don't get this vaccine, you're not going to be able to come out and play. And we bought this. Yeah, some of us whined and complained, but we bought this. We let this go. Mind you, members of Congress did not all get the vaccine. Isn't that interesting? Members of the medical profession not all getting the vaccine. Also very interesting. This was a bad thing, as you know. It destroyed our economy. What it did to children in school, they will never recover. They will never recover what happened in school. My high school senior, she was robbed of her prom, her her class pictures, all those things that seniors like to do. She couldn't do any of it. My kid in junior in high school, sophomore in high school, she had made a decision at the beginning of the year to do really well. She was determined to do really well and get into the college of her choice, which was Sarah Lawrence. Determined. And she was getting straight A's. When she focuses, it's scary. She was getting straight A's. And then it was shut down and she had to learn on Zoom. She couldn't learn on Zoom. Her brain would not allow her to learn on Zoom, and she was flunking out. She went from straight A's to flunking out. It was only because her school system came up with a clever independent study program that she was saved and was able to graduate by the skin of her teeth. But it was a terrible year. And then my baby, who has apraxia and autism, She was starting to read. This set her back years. She couldn't learn on Zoom. She was supposed to be going to school. She couldn't learn on Zoom. And teachers couldn't teach on Zoom. The well-meaning teachers, they were never trained in teacher school on how to teach on Zoom, ladies and gentlemen. They were never trained that way. This was a disaster and completely avoidable because which population was least susceptible to COVID? It was kids. But we don't know anything. We have no idea if any of that data was correct. We have no idea if anybody needed the vaccine. We have, Fauci used to say, if you have the vaccine, you will not get COVID. And then we did. None of it was true. It was the big lie. It was the biggest conspiracy of our lifetime. And where are the lawsuits? Where are our reparations? Where are the reparations for my kids losing out on school, friendship, years of their lives? That screwed them up forever. One of the wisest things San Francisco ever did was they said everybody who went to a San Francisco high school, you got straight A's. That's how they solved the problem. They said, you went to a high school public high school in San Francisco, congratulations, you have straight A's. Coming up, you and I are going to talk about this conspiracy of the Smithsonian and what they have hidden and what they've covered up is a shame. It's a tragedy. You got to be kidding me.